Now, your first defense forecast with Dakota Hunter.
And a happy Friday to you. Thank you for logging on to WNYNewsNow.com for checking out your first defense forecast. I'm Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. Boy, we had a nasty winter storm we just went through, but let's break down the forecast for the remainder of today. Snow tapers west to east. As a matter of fact, it's pretty much all cleared out of the area now, but there will still be a chance for a few light nuisance snow showers throughout the afternoon, and it will be blustery. 27 valleys, 34 at the Lake Erie shoreline. Not as warm as it has been, but this is actually a bit below average. Average high this time of the year is 37, with a pretty healthy northwest breeze of 16 to 26 miles an hour. And of course, with the wind like that, that will blow around some of that loose snow that fell. And first of all, let's take you through the current watches and the warnings that we have. Now, the National Weather Service has X'd the winter storm warning for the westernmost counties of western New York. It continues for Allegheny County until 1 o'clock this afternoon. And then for the Lake Ontario communities, including the city of Rochester, that goes until midnight, because we're going to add lake effect off Lake Ontario into the mix. That's going to bump up totals by a couple inches, so they're going to keep that going until midnight. But for Allegheny County, it'll expire at 1 o'clock. Everybody else, it was canceled earlier on. And speaking of the snow, we had a ton of viewer photos that came in. How about that, of all the snow and the trees? And I really like the snow that occurred on the fence there. I really like this. And again, we had so many of these that came in. And again, here's snow from last night. And again, you can see what kind of snow we were dealing with. As we talked about, this was going to be that wet, heavy heart attack type of snow, and that's exactly what this was. You could just see how much it accumulated. Here's another one. Now, this was actually last night before the heavier snow actually started to fall. You can see the snow falling there from the street lights. That's a really nice shot there. And this occurred out front of my house. We had a tree that came down and brought the power lines down with it. So I was knocked out of power for about 3 hours, but we had a whole bunch of power outages from trees falling, and this was the fear with this storm, was the fact because of the warmer temperatures that we had, along with all the rain that we've had just this year already. We had the threat that this was going to bring down trees and power lines because the ground is still very soft. And even with the gusty winds and that heart attack type snow was enough to start bringing down trees. So that really was the biggest issue of the whole thing. And again, here's another view. It looked like Mother Nature was playing paintball. And again, you could just see, this is the wind as it blew that snow right up on top of the building there. So man, oh man, lots of snow. Take a look at the peaks. This is in Lakewood, snow peaks in Lakewood. That's a road. Doesn't look like it, but that's how much snow accumulated. And this is probably the most frightening of them all. A tree fell on somebody's car while they were in it. Man, this is the most disturbing of them all, I think. And again, you could just see the damage that was left on the car, and look at the shards of glass in the car. Man, oh man, I sure hope they're okay, but wow, just some pretty amazing viewer photos came in, and we want to thank you for sending in your photos as well. It really helps us see what's going on out there. That's why we call you our weather eyes, because you are our window to what's going on out there. Now, the snowfall totals, this was pretty much as forecast. We had totals right in that forecast range. Forestville of around 22 inches, Perrysburg 21, Dunkirk 18, Fredonia 16, Silver Creek a little more than 14 inches, Jamestown 4 miles north, pretty much 4 miles east-northeast of the city line, got a little more than a foot. Jamestown officially at a foot. Also for Ripley and French Creek and Whitesville, that's actually in Allegheny County, 11.4 inches. So lots of snow came down, and I wanted to mention this very quickly because if you think this winter storm was weird, you haven't seen nothing yet. March, I often tell you, is a wild card month. The hottest day we've had in the month of March was 82. That was set back in 1990. The coldest low temperature observed was 23 below zero. That occurred on this date back in 1980. The most snow we've seen in the month of March was just a little over 30 inches. That occurred in 2000. And the most rain we've seen was almost 6 inches. That occurred in 2001. So March is probably the most temperamental month of the whole year. So if you thought this winter storm was weird, where have you been? That was weird. Now, what we had, you can see the snow clearing out from west to east. This is what's left of that low pressure system, but take a look at what's happening out to the east coast. Major winter storm out here, blizzard-like conditions, wind gusts 60, 70, 80 miles an hour, a foot or more of snow out here. So if you have friends or family out this direction, this is going to be a major issue out to the east coast. But hey, better weather ahead. Next 7 days coming up, brought to you by Quick Solutions. And We have a few light snow showers to go through tomorrow, but otherwise around average. 36 degrees, average high is 37. We clear out for the second half of the weekend, going around 38. And then take a look at that. The sun will shine on Monday and early next week. And then we bring in a few rain and snow showers for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And it looks like for the second half of next week, going into later next week, the temperatures go back down again into the 30s.